I'm Hayden Menard, the AV Technology Specialist at Lakeville South High School and a member of DISCIT, the ISD 194 Technology Team. Whether you're brand new to the district or have been with us for decades, a phrase that seems like you can't escape from these days is, "Did you submit a ticket?" Well, with us now having closed over 70,000, many of you clearly have, and we are so thankful. But even still, with all of the things people are expected to keep track of these days, it's no surprise that one of the biggest pieces of feedback we've gotten is that people are confused or even a little intimidated by our ticketing system. So, with the goal of reducing that, let's talk about what a ticketing system does, why we use one, when you should and shouldn't submit a ticket, and what happens after one is submitted. Let's get started! Now, I could go into the history of ticketing systems, how they got their name, different kinds, but your time is valuable, and I don't want to take any more of it than I have to, so let's get right to the meat of things. When you go to submit a ticket, it guides you through a series of categories and questions to identify as much as possible about whatever the issue you're experiencing is. This is because behind the scenes, your ticket is being sorted by over 100 custom rules that are basically acting as a giant flowchart, making sure that your ticket gets to someone who can help you as best as possible, as quickly as possible. An issue with your projector will probably get assigned to someone on the AV team. An uncooperative piece of STEM equipment will probably go to our special programs tech or PC admin. Any issue with the internet is going right to our network team. This is important because, with a district of our size, it's not unusual for dozens of tickets to come in a day, and while many of them might be routine, non-urgent tasks... Oh, looks like there's a new staff member starting in a few weeks. I'll schedule that to take care of. Anyway, like I was saying, many of them aren't urgent, but some... Uh-oh, the internet is down in C-Wing. And testing is going on? I'm gonna be right back. Well, glad that fires out. Actually, that's a great segue to talk about something else we get asked a lot of questions about. When should and when shouldn't you submit a ticket? Tickets are our best way of keeping track of issues, and this only becomes more true the more complex it is and how many people it involves. One of the reasons a ticketing system is so useful is that it creates a unified location where everyone involved in a task, whether now or in the future, can see what has and hasn't been done. So if you have any issue or question that will take an extended amount of time or multiple people to solve, then it should be a ticket. If there are going to be any costs involved or assets impacted, whether it be purchased, replaced, or repaired, those should be tickets too. The last big one is anything involving student accounts or data. Gotta document that, and a ticket is a great place to do it. Before we move on to what shouldn't be a ticket, I want to say that there is a lot of gray area between ticket and not ticket issues. No one is going to be upset with you if you submit a ticket for something that could have been a quick conversation, and likewise, as many of you probably know, if something should be a ticket, we are more than willing to let you know. Take that issue with the loss of internet during a test earlier. Sure, submitting a ticket is a great way to make sure it winds up on my or whoever else's desk, but it's still not a bad idea to throw a phone call to your building's tech, media clerk, or DMS to make sure that they know to come running as soon as possible. So, what things don't need to be tickets? First off, we have quick questions. If you have a non-urgent yes or no question for me and just want to swing by my office on your way to the bathroom and ask, by all means, stop by or send an email. Somewhat similarly, exploratory or minor questions can be great things to ask in those less formal ways. If you want to know whether something is possible with a piece of software before potentially going through an official requisition or approval process, or even just want to know how something works, you can always start it as a casual conversation, and if necessary, submit a ticket later. Finally, issues involving personal technology should not be tickets. You can still ask. I know that I always try to help people if I have a free moment, but we want to keep that separate from the issues we have to prioritize and technology we actively manage. So, you've learned all of that, you've gone to submit a ticket. What happens now? Well, first off, behind the scenes, all those rules we talked about kick into effect, making sure that the ticket gets assigned to the right teams and people. With a few exceptions, some of the first people to see your ticket will be your building's technology team, your DMS, media clerk, and tech, if applicable. Once we see it, we either assign it to whoever should handle it, or take ownership ourselves. Unfortunately, we can't take care of every ticket the moment we see it, but we do try to respond to all of our tickets in good time, prioritizing those that are more serious or time sensitive. While you can see once an agent has started working your ticket, it's not always obvious what work is being done. A lot of times, the first step when working on a ticket is to ask around, see if anyone else has run into that or a similar issue, or has relevant knowledge. Sometimes actions taken on a ticket will be visible to you, the requester, and sometimes they are for documentation only. What you need to watch out for is this. Whenever your ticket says waiting on requester, it means that the agent working it can't continue without some form of input from you. Usually this is just a clarifying question or approval to continue down a path, or sometimes even asking if something they did solved the problem. But no matter what, if you see waiting on requester, you should check your ticket. So, you've submitted your ticket, it's been worked on, you responded to a follow-up, and now it's resolved. What next? Well, hopefully your issue is solved and the answer is nothing. But we all know that sometimes a problem only appears to be resolved or refuses to stay resolved, and in those circumstances, reopen the ticket. Yet another benefit of a ticketing system, and a big reason we use one, is that they're really good at tracking repeat issues and showing what has and hasn't worked in the past. A closed ticket just means that the agent working it either doesn't currently intend to or can't do further work on it. Think of resolving a ticket like closing an open door. It might feel final, but you can always open the door again. That's how doors work. Well, thank you for taking some time to hear about how our ticketing system works. We know adopting any system isn't easy, and we really do appreciate it. If you're interested in how our application request and approval process works, we have a video on that you can watch here. Hopefully this has helped clear up some of how our system works and why we use it. If not, or if you have any more questions, don't be afraid to reach out, or even submit a ticket. Thank you for watching.